Can I ask you a personal question? How's your hygiene? No, I don't mean your personal hygiene. That's all you, none of my business. But how's your email list hygiene? Is it pretty clean or is it full of spam email addresses and typos and email addresses that are never going to see the light of day? Well, sometimes it's hard to know, but today we're going to talk about some easy ways that you can clean up your email list. You can improve your list hygiene to make sure that the people who need and want to see your emails are actually getting them. What causes an email list to become dirty, unhygienic? Well, it can happen in a number of ways. If you have an opt-in form that is, say, available on your website, you could get hit by a bot or a number of bots, and your email list could be populated with a bunch of spam or invalid email addresses. If that happens, we need to be using CAPTCHA on your opt-in form, so let's talk about that. Now, your email list could have invalid email addresses on it for totally honest reasons, right? Somebody could be typing in their email address and they make a mistake. I type in GMIAL instead of GMAIL all the time, right? So it could just be a mistake. There are a lot of different things that could affect the cleanliness of your email list, but it's up to you to make sure that it stays pretty clean. So why do we care? Well, there are a lot of reasons. First of all, if you're getting emails that are bouncing, whether soft bounces or hard bounces, that sends a message to Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, all of the providers that say, something's not right here. And those providers don't look too kindly on bounces because they're afraid that you might be sending spam yourself. Just, throwing spaghetti at a wall, seeing what happens, right? So if you're getting a lot of complaints about your emails, or if your emails are going to spam, they're never going to get delivered. And that could be because of your email list hygiene, right? There are so many different reasons that you want to keep your list clean. And there are a couple of easy ways to do that. Some things to think about. If you have a small list, say under 1,000 subscribers, one of the easiest things you can do is just to read through your list and look for things that look off. You can look at it through your email service provider backend, or you can export it through a spreadsheet so you can sort it and move things around and all that. So what are you looking for? You're looking for weird email addresses that have just a string of letters and numbers that maybe don't come from your native country or the country that you tend to serve, especially if you have ones that subscribed. A lot of them that look weird from a very short period of time, within say 24 hours, that sort of thing. Look for obvious typos. Like I said, I mistype Gmail all the time, right? Or somebody might type .con instead of .com, right? Simple mistake. You can fix it right there in the list and be pretty confident that it's a valid email now. With those bots, the bot emails that look weird, delete them right off your list. They're not going to help you. They're not going to do anything for you. But go through that list. And honestly, it probably won't take you 10 minutes if you have a relatively small list, and just look at how the email addresses are formatted. If things look weird, it's easier to just get rid of them, right? Instead of trying to track somebody down and ask them if, their email address is wrong. The other thing that you can look at as some people will use email aliases. So with Gmail in particular and G Suite, you can put in, say, my email address +1, and it's a sort of a temporary email address that you could then get rid of. So that kind of thing might be on there as well. Now, there are a couple of things that an inactive, when a subscriber is inactive, and some of your email service providers will sort of categorize your subscribers in that way based on different criteria that they have set up in general. I know MailChimp and I think MailerLite and probably others too they will give your subscribers sort of a score. And so you might see, out of 5 stars, this group of 50 subscribers may have like a 1-star score. And if you dig down into the statistics and they're in the analytics, you'll see that they haven't opened an email from you in 6 months, right? So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us a couple of things. Either that they're no longer interested in what you provide. And this is no offense to you. I mean, they just went down a different path and you aren't part of that path anymore, right? That they aren't interested in what you provide, and maybe you did offend somebody. Who knows? It's a possibility, but I doubt it. But more likely it's that they're not ever even getting the emails, like their email account is never receiving the emails, or they're receiving them and they're going to the promotions tab, or God forbid to the spam box, right? Remember that the average email open rate is about 20% across all industries. That means 80% of your subscribers aren't opening your emails. So it's a combination of things, right? It's a combination of, are they getting your emails? Are they getting delivered to their primary inbox? Are they looking in their promotions folder if they're there, or if they're even interested at all, right? There are lots of reasons why email providers like Gmail and Yahoo might reject an email from you, even if you haven't done anything wrong. So, we won't go into that because honestly, a lot of it is sort of secret. Nobody seems to know exactly why things like that happen. So, but part of keeping your email list clean is really about getting rid of the contacts who just aren't engaging with your email. Now, what engagement really entails is up to you. Maybe you say, all right, if somebody hasn't engaged with any of my emails within the last 90 days, I'm done. They're not interested or they're not receiving them. I'm not going to chase that rabbit, right? Or maybe it's 60 days, or maybe it's 6 months, or maybe it's a year. It's totally up to you. But remember, if they haven't opened an email from you in 60, 120, 180 days, then you've fallen completely off their radar, right? They probably don't remember you and they're probably not interested in buying from you. So don't feel bad about trying to get rid of contacts because they're not serving you and you're not serving them. So it's like an irreconcilable differences divorce between you and your subscriber, right? No harm, no foul, nobody's mad at anybody. It's all amicable. You're just not going to send them emails anymore. Take them off the table. Don't deal with them anymore. And let's deal with the people who are actually interested in interacting with us, right? The ones who are really engaged, the ones that you really want to focus on because they need what you provide and you have a message to share with them. One thing to keep in mind, and this is another reason, depending on what platform you use, you may not want to keep a lot of or you may want to put some tighter restrictions or guidelines on how long you keep your email contacts around. If you have to pay by the number of contacts you have. So like ActiveCampaign, for example, you may pay for up to 10,000 contacts in your list. Well, if you're at like 9,500 contacts, you're getting close and you're going to have to jump to that next payment tier, which may be a lot of money. So if you go through and you scrub your list of inactive people, if you get them off your list, then you're also you're saving yourself some money too, right? So it kind of goes both ways. So you can do this manually. You can go through and look through your list. You can do this programmatically with automations. ActiveCampaign has 2 recipes they call automations, that they're sort of preset automations recipes where you can set them up. It's 2 parts and you can filter out people who have not engaged with your emails in a certain set amount of time. It's very simple, very point and click, and you can set them up that way. But there are also ways that you can, especially if you have a big list, you can hand that job off to someone else. And there are a number of services that will do this for you. Some of the most common ones are NeverBounce, MailerCheck does it, I think, MailFloss does it. And some of these are more one-off services where you can download a CSV file of your contacts from your email service provider, upload them to this website and pay 5/1000th of a cent, like 0.005, depending on how many you have. The more you have, the less it is per contact. You can upload it and they'll go through and scrub your list for you, and they'll provide you with a clean list. And then you can upload it, upload it back into your software with, say, a certain tag. And so then you can just respond, or you can just email those particular people, right? There are other services that will actually integrate with your email service provider software, and they will scrub your list automatically. They use an API to go through and say every night or every week or however often you choose to do it. They will continuously scrub your list, so that if you scrub your list on Monday and then you get a whole bunch of bots that come in and add a bunch of email addresses to your list, the next Monday they'll be gone, right? So it limits your exposure to, bad email addresses like that. So why does it matter? Why is it really important for us to get the engaged people off, keep the engaged people and get rid of the unengaged people, right? So there's a concept in the email marketing world called sender reputation. And depending on who you talk to, sender reputation can be the reputation of like ActiveCampaign, or of Entreport, or of Constant Contact, or whatever platform you use. But then you can also have a reputation associated with your domain, a domain reputation. And if it looks like you're sending out a bunch of emails that nobody wants to open because your email rates are really low, that can affect your domain reputation. And we don't want that to happen, because that signifies to Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook that they don't need to deliver your emails to the primary inbox, because most people aren't really interested. That tells them to deliver it to the promotions folder. And as we know from our own personal use, I know I don't go through my promotions folder nearly as much as I go through my primary inbox in Gmail, right? So the goal is step through all of these steps. It helps us improve our email domain reputation. It helps us improve our email deliverability, and it just makes sure that we're serving the people who are interested in being served. So we're not wasting our time, and we're not wasting our money, and we're not, getting this idea that nobody is interested in what we're talking about, because there are people interested, right? We just need to make sure we're talking to them. So the other thing that I want you to think about, and this isn't like a backdoor way to boost your analytics to make you feel better. It's simply math. If you have, let's say, 5,000 people on your email list, and you get rid of 1,000 email addresses from your list through this process of cleaning, right? And now you have 4,000 people on your email list. If 1,000 people typically open your emails, right? If this is math, so it's hard, right? If a fifth of you have a 25% or 20% open rate, right, of 5,000, 1,000 people are opening it, you have a 20% open rate. If you remove that 1,000, all of a sudden your open rate is gone up to 25%, right? It's just math. You are removing the number of people who were not opening the email, the number of the people who are opening the email staying the same. So your open rate is going to go up. Again, it's not about inflating your numbers so that you feel good about yourself. It's about getting a more accurate picture of the effectiveness of your email marketing. And that's really the big reason that you want to keep your email list hygienic. You want to improve your email list hygiene. So there are a couple of things that you can do here. We talked about just doing a visual review of your emails in your service provider, or if you're a spreadsheet kind of person and you want to export them, totally fine. It's a good way to look for duplicate email addresses. That's another thing where you can kind of save some space. Also looking for those typos or those bot email addresses. And those are, just get rid of them. There's no reason to keep them around. There's no reason to like unsubscribe them and then still keep them in your database. They're never going to buy from you. Get rid of them, right? Then we talked about the services that you can use to scrub your list, either as a one-off kind of thing by uploading your list every once in a while, or by interfacing with one of these platforms that will do it for you. Pricing, of course, varies all the way across the board, but if you have a list of 40 or 50,000 emails and you're constantly growing that email list by thousands of emails per week, paying $29 a month for a service to automatically scrub your email list is going to end up saving you money and time and hassle, right? So it's worth the investment. If you have a small list, probably good to just review it visually and every so often. It's also something that you can just build into an automation. So if somebody hasn't interacted with your emails for the last 6 months, you can actually have your automation remove them, unsubscribe them and remove them from the database. So keeps everything clean, makes it easier for you to evaluate the effectiveness of your campaigns. And it makes email marketers like me really happy that we don't come into a scary situation that we then have to clean up. So I hope this has been helpful. How is your email list hygiene? Drop me a comment below. And if you are looking for some ways to improve your email marketing, I've got a freebie that's listed in the description. Go ahead, check it out. It's a bundle of all kinds of resources that you can use to engage your email audience and to start developing that relationship and building that trust that email marketing is so good at, so that you can convert them from email subscribers into customers. All right, we'll see y'all soon. Bye.